So I have mixed feelings.
Okay.
Because I do believe in respect, but respect is earned, not given. And I don't think that the president we currently have shows respect to anyone. And I think that, we can go back to when Barack Obama was elected, and that was my president. He will
Okay.
always be my president. I worked on his drafting committee. I was one of 20 people in the country picked to work on that.
What's drafting for people? Who-
Is the drafting platform? It's what would dictate his presidency. So we talked about foreign policy. We talked about labor standards. We talked about how we could rebuild the middle class. It's just like it's something that he takes and his staff takes, and we're supposed to be representative of the United States and what we think would be helpful. So it was a huge honor to get to be the labor voice on that. But when he was elected, Mitch McConnell said that we will make him a one-term president, and we will not pass anything that he wants to pass. And so I'm never a tit for tat person. And when I was in the Senate, I worked with everybody, or at least I tried to, because finding common ground, I think, is super important. But I think what we found when Barack Obama was elected, and this is 100% Connie Leva's opinion, is that people on the right said, "Oh my God, how did we let a person of color become the president of the United States?" And they wanted to do everything they could to make sure he wasn't successful. But in spite of that, he did succeed, and he did do some great things. Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, is landmark achievement that has helped millions of people. And as someone who used to negotiate medical benefits, I know how important that was for people. When I was in the labor movement, we became a navigator at my local union, and we signed up 500 people for Obamacare. And to see people come in, Antonio, to sign up, it was obvious they hadn't had medical care in years, decades. And I think healthcare is a human right. If you're a human being, you should have access to affordable healthcare. So the fact that he did that and persevered, even though he was so persecuted as a president, really made me respect him even more. But I think that we saw then where the right was going to go, and they have always tried to get rid of Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. I love it when people go, "Oh, I hate Obamacare, but I like the Affordable Care Act." Hello.
People say that?
Oh, God, all the time.
No.
Yes. And so, but that's fine. Let them say that. But I think that we saw people on the right decide that it got even uglier than it's been. And I think we've been on a downhill slope ever since then. And again, I think respect is earned. And I don't know what the current president has done to earn my respect. And I think a lot of leaders in Congress felt the same way. And so, like I said, I have mixed emotions about it. I think that we should all try and rally around our president. But I think this is his second term. He showed us what he was like in his first term, and he's even worse in his second term. So, yeah, I have mixed emotions, but I don't know if I would have stood, because he has not earned my respect. When I was elected, my job was to earn people's respect. And sometimes that was just by listening to them. We didn't always agree. I remember I had a whole group of anti-vaxxers that protested one of my events, and we sat down and talked to them. And I said, "Listen, we may not agree on everything, but I want to hear what you're saying. I want to hear why you feel the way you feel." And so, having been elected and knowing that not everyone who I represented voted for me, but I still represented them, I think he owes us that same respect, and I haven't seen it.
Got you. And he's been moving really quick in the past 5 months, less than 5 months? Yeah, less than 5 months.
Yes. Doing things that are harming the least among us.
Yeah, the executive orders have been
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, definitely. Not the movie, folks. Not the movie at all.
Right.
And we're here, folks. So we're gonna keep going down this road. And if you don't feel comfortable answering these questions, Connie, just say I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm good.
I guess you have no constituents or lobbyists to abide by right now, right?
But I would tell you that Manny could tell you that when I was in office, you got the straight facts from Connie Leva, no matter what.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Straight no chaser.
Straight no chaser.
So a lot of people have been talking about, Trump's not running the White House. It's Elon. What's your thoughts on Elon Musk involvement with the White House and the presidency?
It's just wrong.
Okay.
I mean, you as a president, you get to pick whoever you want your advisors to be. Yeah, sure, no problem. But to bring someone in who isn't elected, to be just slashing jobs at Doge, I think it's reckless. And I don't think it was necessarily Trump's idea. But when you donate $75 million to someone's campaign, there's going to be a payback. And so, I'm sure Mr. Elon, who's cutting all of these government programs and agencies, but he has received so much funding from the federal government, from the state of California, to run Tesla and to make sure that his electric vehicles. He got so many loans and subsidies and grants from both the state and federal government, and then for him to say there's waste, fraud, and abuse. You know what? Everybody can be a little meaner, or not meaner, a little leaner. But we're cutting people who have institutional knowledge, and we're going to see the real brunt of what Elon is doing in probably, I would say, the next few years and the next decade. We won't see it immediately. We are seeing some of it immediately, but I think it was a bad idea. But when somebody gives you that much money, you owe them big.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works, right?
That's how it works. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there was some sort of a conversation about, hey, I'll give you this money, but this is what I expect in return.
And that's kind of how it works, right?
Yeah. Yes and no.
Okay.
For me, that's why I didn't take money from certain entities, because you know what? I knew I would never vote the way Chevron wanted me to vote. I was never going to vote the way Big Tobacco wanted me to vote. Same with Walmart. So it made my fundraising a little harder. I had to work a little harder, but that's okay. Ethics can be hard, but you know what? You sleep good at night.
I was going to say that. You can sleep good at night.
Yep, you sleep good at night.
The integrity. Wow, and it makes me... So do you think Doge is like a made-up thing?
For sure.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Gotcha.
It's, and we understand. I know Republicans have never liked big government. That's been one of the rubs between Democrats and Republicans. Okay, that's fine. Go in with a scalpel, not with a sledgehammer, or what did he have, like a chainsaw? You know what? Do it the right way, and say, okay, this is what we see the problem is in whatever this certain government agency is. Oh, well, let's make it better. But just laying people off and getting rid of people, that doesn't make things better. It just makes holes all over our government.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard today that 1,000 people from FEMA are taking the buyout. Okay, great. So what happens when your house is hit by a tornado or, a hurricane or whatnot, and there's nobody at FEMA to come and help you?
What's the buyout?
Yeah. Like the buyouts he's been offering in other agencies. I don't know what the actual dollar amount is, but that's one of the things he's done, and the different agencies has offered people buyouts to retire.
Wow. Having this conversation with you, it's making me really think that UBI is really around the corner.
UBI.
Universal Basic Income.
Oh. Well, Donald Trump would not support that. He would, if they want to cut Social Security, something that we put money into, they're not going to give free money to people. That's the way they would look at it. I've seen some studies on universal basic income. It has potential. I mean, in my opinion, it could work, but you're never going to see that out of the Trump administration.
You don't think so?
Oh God, no.
Because I know Elon was one of the people that said that we're going to have that world, a universal basic income, and so it just makes me think, like, if jobs are being taken away, and if robotics and AI is coming in to replace the jobs, and more people are probably going to be less inclined to learn new skills, then what's our other option besides, hey, like no one's gonna want to work, so here's
So you and I, Antonio, are
Yes.
rational people
Okay.
who think about those that are less than us and think about poor people. And if they don't have a job, what are we going to do? How do we help them? This is not how this administration thinks. They do not care about poor people.
Mm.
Poor people are the scourge of society as far as they're concerned. I think about some of the people that are interviewed that supported this administration, and they're not people that Donald Trump would ever go to a party with. They're not people he would ever invite over to the White House. So I think people want to believe the best in people. People want to believe the lies he told, that he was here for the people, he was going to help people. But those of us have been around the block and have seen leaders like him before. He spins a great tale. But we have in the first administration, he didn't help anybody. He didn't. I mean, Biden had to come in and clean up his mess. So I hope for the best, but plan for the worst.
Yeah.
Because I do think things are going to get worse for the American people. Things are going to be fine. If you're wealthy, you got nothing to worry about. You're going to be A-okay. But if you're middle class or poor, life's going to get real hard. Those $12 a dozen eggs are going to keep going. My gas hasn't gone down. Eggs haven't gone down. And
No.
that's what he promised.
Mm.
I was talking to one of the checkers at the grocery store the other day, and she said, "Connie, you were right." I go, "Well, I was. What was I right about?" She goes, "You told me that if Donald Trump got elected, my eggs weren't going to get cheaper and gas wasn't going to go down." I said,
It's gone the opposite,
"It's gone the
technically.
opposite." Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if that happened with Joe Biden? People would have filleted him, but people just want to give Donald Trump a pass every time. I don't understand that.